first down.
But he sees things turning and heading in the right direction. The Packers have won the toss. They've elected to receive. Todd Sauerbrunn will kick off. He and John Casey rotated last week. Rondell Mealy is deep. Line drive kick. Mealy takes it running backwards and stays in the end zone. That's a strong leg by Todd Sauerbrunn. And the Packers will go on offense, led by Brett Favre, who thus far through 2 games has completed over 71% of his passes and an NFL record 144th consecutive start. There's that offensive line that Bill was talking about. Chad Clifton really playing well, as is Mark Tauscher, and the guys in the middle, Mike Flanagan taking over as a starter. Amon Green leading the NFL in rushing. Schroeder and Freeman, the wideouts. William Henderson is the fullback, and the tight end is Bubba Franks. And they come out in a spread formation out of the shotgun. It's Amon Green, and he's hit the backfield. Good tackle right away by Mike Rucker. Good penetration by the defensive end. Here's the Panthers defense. Rucker, the rookie Chris Jenkins inside. Sean Gilbert playing well, and Jay Williams. The linebackers, Dan Morgan, the rookie, starting and playing well. Lester Townsend, Hannibal Navies. Back in the starting lineup, Mike Minter, who missed the first 2 games with a knee injury. 3 wide receivers. Corey Bradford, number 85, is in. It's Amon Green again. And he gets back to the original line of scrimmage. Sean Gilbert took him down. Good aggressive play thus far by the front of the Carolina Panthers.
Well, that's an area, Sam, where they really concentrated on beefing up this year. Remember last year they had all those transactions. They brought in the free agents. They brought in Reggie White and Eric Swan and a host of defensive linemen, older guys that really didn't pan out for them. Right there's a young man in Chris Jenkins, who they're very happy with, playing alongside Sean Gilbert in the middle. Those guys are run stoppers.
3 wide receivers, 2 backs on 3rd and 10. Freeman in motion. Favre gets time. And the pass is caught by Corey Bradford for a first down. Beautiful throw by Favre. Jimmy Hitchcock covering on the play. Made an attempt but missed.
Well, you talked about a beautiful throw, and that ball was right on the money because Hitchcock was there. Hitchcock had Bradford secured to the sidelines, and Brett puts that ball where only Bradford can get to it. You talk about the accuracy. Everybody's talking about Brett Favre. He's healthy. He's having the best season. He had the best training camp. This guy's as good as it gets when it comes to threading that needle.
2 tight ends. Henderson and Green in the backfield. Favre throws and completes it to Corey Bradford, the only wide receiver, and another first down for Green Bay. Boy, Favre's accuracy thus far this season has been incredible.
Take a look at the turf on the field. They've run 3-4 plays here already, and that's the middle of the field that was replaced a couple weeks ago. That thing's just tearing right up.
That's new sod that has not taken hold. Larry Chester and Brenson Buckner are in at the tackles for Carolina. And a good play once again by the front as they stuff the run. Larry Chester wrapping up Amon Green.
Jason Peter was actually there first to the front side, and Chester, the backside, closes down. Peter stuffs it up over here, and Chester flattens down the line of scrimmage and catches the ball carrier in the background.
Lost 3 on the play. Carolina will roll 8 defensive linemen through the game. They've got Henderson and Green in the backfield as Green Bay. Good play fake. And the toss is to Amon Green, who leads the Packers in receptions now with 10. He had 73 last season. Hannibal Navies takes him down at midfield. It'll bring up a 3rd and 3 for the Packers.
Sam, when Green Bay gets in that I-back set, you're thinking predominantly run, especially if you watched the Washington film last week. You're thinking run, run, run. Well, here the linebackers get sucked up inside, and there's Amon Green underneath, wide open. You remember last week the play-action pass against Atlanta that got the linebackers up against Carolina as well. Resulted in a touchdown.
2 tight ends, 2 backs. Corey Bradford, the wide receiver. On 3rd and 3, Green in motion. Favre with time. Sidearms it. It's intercepted. Intercepted by Doug Evans, the former Packer. The 5th interception by the Panthers this season. Kind of a sidearm throw by Brett Favre, and not a good one here. And Doug Evans reads it and picks it. Carolina takes over. There's no score in the game. Back in Charlotte, the Panthers take over at their own 48-yard line. Doug Evans' 2nd interception of the season. Chris Wenke, the quarterback. In motion, Wesley Walls. The play fake. Wenke throws it out to Chris Hetherington, the fullback. Breaks the tackle. Out of bounds at the Green Bay 48, a pickup of 4.
You know, let's get back to the interception. Ahman Green's going to drift over here, then come back underneath. Here is Evans. Here's William Henderson. Brett thinks that Evans is going to come up and take William Henderson underneath right here. Now watch him. He doesn't. He settles down when he sees Ahman Green come across, and he steps in front of the ball. That was a heads-up play, and that's reacting to all the movement that Green Bay gives you.
20th career interception for Doug Evans. 3 wide receivers in. Wenke on the play fake. Short outside to Hetherington again. He picks up about 2 on the play. Leroy Butler, number 36, was there. Let's check out the lineups. Chris Wenke, Heisman Trophy winner, and starting his 3rd consecutive game. Stussy, Mitchell, and Donnelly are all new to the offensive line this year. Nesbitt moved from right guard to left guard. The rookie Nick Goings, who was a backup at Pitt, is the starter. Wesley Walls did not catch a pass last week for the first time in his last 87 games. Number 94, Kabir Bajabiamila is in. The pass rusher. The throw by Wenke is wide of Isaac Byrd, incomplete, and it's 3 and out for the Panthers offense.
Well, you can when you get a turnover like that, you want to get something going off that. You know, if you have a big play, a positive action, you want to get a chain reaction off of that positive reaction.
But everything was short. All 3 passes were short.
They've got to. They've got to control Chris Wenke, what he can do. They don't want to get him upset early.
With Allen Rossum still out with a hamstring injury, Antonio Freeman is deep. Todd Sauerbrunn lifts it high. Fair catch, wave 4, and Freeman takes it at around the 16-yard line. Hang time of 4.2 seconds. Freeman doing his first punt returning last week and this week since 1995 when he was a rookie. Season, and Ahman Green has established himself as a premier runner in the NFL. In fact, in 4 of his last 5 games, he's had 100 yards or more, leading the NFL starting today. And here's Ahman Green carrying, and the Panthers take him down for a 1-yard loss. He's -4 on 4 carries thus far this season.
The one thing
thus far in the game, excuse me.
The Carolina Panthers linebackers are able to do in this new style of defense is run downhill. Take a close look at Hannibal Navies and watch him shoot downhill to blow this thing up. I'm sorry, there he is right there. He gets into the backfield. They're able to run downhill and attack the hole.
Packers go with 3 wide receivers. Jimmy Hitchcock in as a 5th defensive back for Carolina. And they whistle the play dead. Really rough time in that section of the field with the turf. We have a false start. Tony Correnti is our referee.
5-yard penalty. Remains 2nd down.
Now, Bill, how does that affect what the players can do, and who does it bother the most?
If you fall into that thing, that's like a pothole.
That's right.
That can affect you. But when you're tearing up underneath your feet, that's when it's bad, because you use the ground for everything, and you overextend your body from the ground up. It's kind of like a starting block for track guys. If that tears up underneath you, you're going to fall apart.
2nd and 16. Pass incomplete. Through the hands of Antonio Freeman. He got popped by Mike Minter, and then the pass was dropped. A possible interception was dropped by Rashard Anderson.
Take a look at number 30 on this pop. There's Antonio, boom, right into the rib cage.
Good start to the game by the Carolina defense. Rashard Anderson said, "Oh, I almost had it." Minter back. He's a leader back there for the Panthers. Packers with 3 wide receivers. Panthers have 6 defensive backs. On 3rd and 16, it's Amon Green. Found a nice hole. Gets up to the 24-yard line. A good pickup, but it's short of a first down. Doug Evans and Deion Grant combined on the tackle.
Brett Favre was out there after the play, Sam, down in that part of the field. He was replacing the torn up side. He was down there patting down the chunks and the big holes with his to help out his punter. That's right about where his punter's going to be punting from.
Josh Bidwell is on the punt. He's made a terrific comeback the last 2 years from testicular cancer. Good high kick coming down to Steve Smith at the 30. Trying to go wide, and a great job. Bobby Collins was the first man down, and then it was J.D. Williams on the tackle. Good punt of 46 yards by Josh Bidwell. Williams with a hard tackle. Panthers from their own 30. Wenke throwing again. Pass tipped up in the air and bobbled, and did it fall incomplete? Yes, it fell incomplete. Bernardo Harris had it and dropped it. Oh, Bernardo, it was there. The man from Chapel Hill, North Carolina. He's got 20 members of his family here. Happy as can be that the Tar Heels have won 2 in a row and beat NC State yesterday. Hussein Muhammad in motion. First carry for Nick Goings. No gain. Vonnie Holliday, number 90, with the tackle. And Vonnie Holliday's gotten off to a real good start this season.
Vonnie Holliday plays in this system what they call a power end, or the strong end. He always goes to the strong side of formation. Take up, here's number 90 right here to the tight end side. And he's just like takes on the double team, gets low, splits that double team. And that's Sam. That's an all-world play right there. You take that play right there and you get a highlight film of it. That was sensational.
He says he wants to be a cross between Bruce Smith and Reggie White. That would be all-world. 3rd and 10. Wenke says everyone out. Throws and hits Hussein Muhammad up at the 49-yard line. Good throw and a good catch by Hussein Muhammad, who caught 102 passes last year, tied for the NFL lead.
Well, yeah, first things first. Check out the protection up front from these guys. Now, 3 of these guys are new. They got this year. There's Stoozy right here. Jeff Mitchell right there. They got him from Baltimore. Kevin Donnelly's in there as well. Look at the power of Hussein Muhammad just blowing through defenders.
On first down, Wenke swings it out to Hetherington. Short pickup. Good tackle on the play by the cornerback, Mike McKenzie. 3rd catch by Chris Hetherington in the game. The Yale University product, one-time quarterback at Yale. And I know you'll appreciate this, Bill. He's a big hockey fan.
As am I. Well, actually, I'm converting to a hockey fan, Sam.
Thank you. 2 tight ends in for Carolina. From the Packers 48. In the middle goes Richard Huntley, his first carry as a Carolina Panther. Missed the preseason with a hamstring injury. The former Pittsburgh Steeler, played 3 years at Pittsburgh. 2 years ago, had a good year behind Jerome Bettis.
Well, he's always been a backup. When he was in Atlanta first, he was behind Jamal Anderson and Craig Hayward down there originally. Then Pittsburgh picked him up, and he is what he is. He is a hard-nosed, straight-ahead runner. He will bowl you over, as you saw it right there.
3rd and 2, 3 wide receivers in for Carolina. It's Goings carrying, trying to slip underneath. And he's very close, but I think he's a little short of the first down marker. Had to get to the 31.
You know, back to Huntley, Sam, if you spend your time as an intern behind Jamal Anderson, Craig Hayward, and Jerome Bettis, you can only become one kind of runner.
They're about a half-yard short, and George Seifert decides to play it safe and send on the punter, Todd Sauerbrunn. Playing the field position game. What do you think, Bill?
Well, one of 2 things. Look at that hunk of sod right there.
Going to go over the hill. Sauerbrunn kicks it high. Antonio Freeman waves everybody away. It rolls out of bounds at around the 7 or 8 yard line. They'll spot it at the 8. So the field position game being played by the Panthers pins Green Bay back at their own 8-yard line after a 34-yard punt. Well, they've been working on the field. 8 grounds crew members patting down the grass. Packers, third possession, starting from their own 8. They have 3 tight ends in, including a tackle eligible, Barry Stokes, number 79. Amon Green is hit in the backfield.
That's for Towns.
Gets up to the 9-yard line. The middle linebacker, the second-year man, Lester Towns, with a tackle.
And that's that ability. When you got those run stuffers, as we talked about, Chris Jenkins is there, and Larry Chester and Sean Gilbert clogging up the front. Preston Buckner was in there that time, and they stuff everything up front, and then the linebackers have a clear path, flying downhill.
Preston Buckner, who signed with Carolina after playing with San Francisco. Rondell Mealy and Amon Green in the backfield as Favre checks off at the line. The draw play, Amon Green, good hole, and he gets up to the 29-yard line. Good run by Amon Green. Mike Minter takes him down.
You know, Amon Green, everyone wants to know about this guy and why is he doing so good? This guy has a lot of things going for him. First thing it is he runs with a low anchor, Sam. And what I mean is his body weight is down past his buttocks. They're down in his thighs. Secondly, when he gets into the line of scrimmage, he has the ability, because of that low anchor, to bounce off people. And then when he does get in the open, a lot of people forget, he still runs a 4.3 40.
7 carries, 22 yards thus far. Green carries again. Short pickup, still fighting for more yards. And now his forward progress is whistled stopped. The charge led by Hannibal Navies, number 53. The strong side linebacker, including today in the first quarter. He has rushed for 155 yards this season, averaging better than 10 yards per carry. Early on in this game, he'd been stopped for negative yards. He's starting to turn it into positive. That was a 4-yard pickup. Trying to become only the 3rd Packer to ever rush for over 100 yards in 3 consecutive games. Antonio Freeman went in motion. Favre in trouble. Pass is dropped by Corey Bradford. Deion Grant was covering on the play.
Well, you can see a couple different wrinkles that Green Bay's trying. One, on the draw, they were in split back, Sam, and that's a little wrinkle that they added this week, as we saw in the Monday night game. They're primarily I-back set. And then, that's on that play right there, they got into bunch grouping. They got into three receivers all bunched up down here to the bottom of the screen. Then they sprinted Antonio Freeman out to the right side. So it was a short week of preparation for him, but they're still trying to cause some wrinkles for the Carolina Panthers. Did you see that chunk of dirt they kicked out of there?
Empty backfield. Everybody out. Short drop, and the pass is almost intercepted by Evans again. Intended by Antonio Freeman. Favre throwing off his back foot. Almost got picked off.
Well, Evans was right there again, all over Antonio Freeman. Almost had his 3rd interception of the year. But did you see right before the start of the play? Take a look at this. These guys are down in here. They're looking at this chunk of grass that's up. And they say, wait a second, we got to get this. Look, he throws it out of there. Get that stuff out of my way.
Marco Rivera doing it. Second punt for Josh Bidwell. This time the wind holds it up. Fair catch waved for by Steve Smith at the 42-yard line. Good field position for the Panthers.
And here comes the grounds crew.
34-yard punt. Carolina will try to take advantage of that good field position. A turf for his new lawn at his house, but I don't know if he wants that.
They're laying it back. That's like nailing Jello to a tree. I mean, it's just not going to work. They folded over, and as soon as they step onto the players, that is, it's going to come right back up.
Santana Dotson in on defense for the Green Bay Packers, number 71. Panthers have started from their 48, their 30, now they're 42. No score in the game. Short drop, quickly outside of Steve Smith. The rookie dropped it. Steve Smith, 3rd-round draft pick out of Utah. Paul Butler's working the sideline. He sees that turf. How is it, Paul?
It is bad, guys. Panthers resided this field back in August, but because of the dry weather, it hasn't grown the way they wanted. The roots haven't taken. As you can see, looks pretty bad down here by the 20-yard line.
Well, that's a bad patch down to our left.
I tell you one thing, Sam, if I was a player out there and I had the low shoes on, I'd go and get some high tops. You'll roll an ankle on that stuff.
Hussein Muhammad in motion. Nick Goings gets up to about the 45-yard line. Mike McKenzie with the tackle. Nick Goings, who started his college career at Ohio State and transferred to Pitt. That's your school, Bill.
That's right. He was a Panther there. He's a Panther here. He didn't play at Pitt, though. He backed up Kevin Barlow, the first-round draft choice for the San Francisco 49ers. I think he got one start there when Kevin was injured. But they always liked him. Scouts that saw him always said he was a tough, good running back.
Here's third down. Everybody out. Winky throwing, and it's caught by Donald Hayes. Good pass. Winky with a short pass, a first down for the Panthers. He threw it in perfect position for Donald Hayes.
Well, that's what he does, and that's what he's been working on. His receivers and he have gotten together. First, take a look at the protection. That's where it all starts. He has time. Look at him stand in the pocket, set up, and he throws that ball. Watch where he throws it. Watch where the defender is. Away from the defender.
On first down, Richard Huntley with a good hole and a good run. Another first down. So Huntley, coming off the hamstring injury, getting his first chance to run the ball as a Carolina Panther.
The one area that Carolina is attacking, it's apparent. They felt like they could get to the perimeter with this team in the run game. Everything they've tried to run, if you remember Nick Goings getting outside and now Huntley outside, everything they've been doing is outside on the perimeter.
First down at the Green Bay 32. Steve Smith in motion. The play fake, the end around. Smith dropped it. Got away from one man. Packers trying to chase him down, and Smith gets back to the 30-yard line. He turned it into a 2-yard gain. It could have been a disaster for the rookie Steve Smith.
Well, Steve Smith is the third or fourth wide receiver on this team, but he's the #1 kick returner, punt returner in the league right now. And he's a fast guy, and he's elusive. I think you try to bring him in and get a wrinkle going. There was the reverse. If it wasn't for that speed and elusiveness that he has, he could have been in some big trouble. He was able to pull out a couple yards.
2nd and 8 for Carolina. The play fake by Winky, steps up and throws, and completes to Wesley Walls. Out of bounds at the 15-yard line. Wesley Walls, whose long streak of 86 consecutive games with a catch was broken last week, gets this pass.
Holy cow, Sam. Watch this. Walls is double covered. Bernardo Harris is here. Sharper's there. That's bracket coverage. But watch where that ball is thrown by Winky.
Perfect. 15-yard pickup.
Now you see what all the fuss is about Chris Winky. Why everybody that has seen him practice, why they cut Jeff Lewis in the preseason, because of what this guy brings to the team.
Last play of the first quarter. Huntley slips a tackle, gets about a yard, and we've come to the end of the first quarter. Carolina can get out of that mess with the torn up turf and go to the other side of the field. They are on the move. Scoreless first quarter here in Carolina, but the Panthers are threatening. There's no score in the game.
Field for both these teams. Defensively, Green Bay, this is only the second time this season a team has gotten into the red zone. And for Carolina, they had a bunch of red zone problems last week.
Walls went in motion. The pass to Wesley Walls gets down to the 2-yard line.
That was one of the problems they didn't get done last week. They didn't get the ball to Wesley Walls in the red zone. The red zone for Carolina, as long as Wesley Walls has been here, has been the Wesley zone. He can control the field in there with his size as the tight end.
And they hurry to the line. Quarterback sneak. They try to catch the Packers. They try to catch the Packers. Not ready. The fumble. The ball came loose, but the signal is recovery by Carolina. They hurried to the line. No huddle.
They try to catch Green Bay not being ready, but watch Winky. He gets into the line with that ball, and it gets jolted out.
That was a dangerous moment. 2nd and goal for Carolina at the 4-yard line. They've been in the red zone 8 times this season, come out with 3 touchdowns, 4 field goals, and 1 fumble. Winky on 2nd down. Throwing incomplete. Try to get it to Donald Hayes. Good coverage on the play by Mike McKenzie. Wesley Walls, who in 1999 had 12 touchdown catches. NFL record for tight ends. See in the red zone, 9 out of 10, 5 out of 6 of his touchdowns, 10 out of 12 in 99, 2 of 2 last year when he missed a good portion with an injury. And he complained about not being a key factor last week. Well, he's a factor this week. Goings in motion. Everybody out. Wenke in trouble. Throwing. And it's caught. Wesley Walls. A flag on the play, but I think it's going to be against the Packers.
It sure was. That was Niall Diggs, number 59. He was all over his back. It was pass interference. But when that ball gets around Wesley Walls, doesn't matter who's around him, he's going to pull it in. George
Seifert said he was sorry that Wesley Walls didn't get a pass reception last week.
Touchdown.
Niall Diggs the man. Seifert says, I'm a Wesley Walls fan. I want him to get the ball.
Well, it would have helped the team out greatly if they could have used him down there last week. You see the pass interference. He had that hooking around him. But Wesley Walls, when that ball's in the air, it doesn't matter who's around him.
John Casey's extra point is good. The Green Bay Packers trail for the first time this season. It's the first touchdown scored on the Packers this season. The Panthers at home lead it 7-0. The Carolina Panthers, the combination of Wenke and Walls.
Watch Wesley Walls. I got a new nickname for him.
Yeah.
It's Octopus. Watch where he catches this ball. This is tremendous. Concentration has deal in his legs, Sam. He catches the football between his legs. Never hits the ground, rolls right up into his belly. The Octopus.
Todd Sauerbrunn kicking off. Rondell Mealy runs to the sideline, stays on his feet, cuts it back, and a good return. Mealy up across the 35-yard line, but there are several flags on the play, and we'll check them out. Good return. They got Mealy moving laterally, but he was able to stay on his feet and turned it into a good gain.
Looked like he lost his balance.
A holding call will bring back some of that return, a 31-yard return.
That field's still a mess. The crew's out there trying to put it together. Right about where the ball is on the field, it looks like from here, it looks like a sandbox. It looks horrible. You know, if the Packers are playing up there on the frozen tundra, what kind of tundra is this? Sandy. Torn tundra.
Starting from their own 19. They have not had good field position yet in the game. Amon Green in motion. Favre throwing. It's picked off. Deion Grant on the return gets to the 27-yard line. Second interception of the game for the Carolina Panthers. They burned Green Bay and Brett Favre last year for a 31-14 win, and they are burning Brett Favre today.
Well, take a look at Deion Grant. Watch him just jump in front of this ball. He saw that thing. He saw Brett's eyes locked on him, and he had to jump on that ball before it had a chance to get there. Here comes Rucker, 93. Watch him turn the corner. He's in Brett's face, and Brett possibly threw that ball and didn't have a beat on what was downfield.
The play fake by Wenke. He has time. He throws for Muhsin Muhammad. Touchdown, Carolina.
Penalty flag down.
There's a flag on the play. We'll check it out. Wenke was knocked down hard by Billy Lyon. Are they going to bring this back?
Sure are.
It's a holding call, I believe. Muhsin Muhammad was wide open. And the touchdown will be taken off the board.
First down.
Todd Stussy, the left tackle, the former Minnesota Viking, who's missed only one game in his 8-year career, is called for the hold.
And as an offensive lineman, I'm not telling anybody any earth-shattering news. There couldn't be a worse time to get that holding call than on a touchdown.
Ball moves back to the Green Bay 37. Chris Hetherington is in the slot to the left side. Everybody out, the rush on. Wenke's pass is too high for Hetherington. Let's check out what's going on in Minnesota. Vikings and Tampa Bay. JB?
Sam, Howie talked about Minnesota's offensive woes during a pregame show. Trying to make up for it here. Culpepper with Carter, 13-yard strike. Carter now 4th all-time, and he's tied with Jim Brown at 126. Vikes up by 4. Back to Sam and Bill.
Tampa Bay hasn't played in a couple of weeks. Had a bye week, and of course,
Neither is Minnesota.
The NFL shutting down for a week. Richard Huntley is split out. Hetherington went in motion, and the pass is complete to Donald Hayes. Down to the Green Bay 32. Picked up about 5 on the play. If you're just joining us, the Carolina Panthers, in their home opener, have played well defensively. They picked off Brett Favre twice in the game. Once the former Packer Doug Evans, and then Deion Grant just picked him off. And Favre, who completed his first 3 passes, has been incomplete for 3 and intercepted twice on the last 5 passes he's thrown. 3rd and long for Carolina. Have to get to the Green Bay 17. Number 94, the left end, Kabir Bajabamila, with 4 sacks, is in. Actually, the right defensive end. And we have a timeout called by Carolina.
That clock. Show me the money, Sam.
I knew you'd say that. Panthers 3 for 5 on 3rd down in the game. That pass juggled and falls.
I think he caught Sam. I think he caught that ball.
No. It's incomplete. The back judge said it hit the ground. Good effort by Muhsin Muhammad.
Well, there was an all-out blitz by the Packers. And Wenke stood in there in the face of pressure. Watch all the guys coming. Everywhere around him. Can't see from that angle, but
Tyrone Williams
there it was.
underneath. Sent him flying. Good effort by Muhsin Muhammad.
Going for it on 4th down.
On 4th down from the Green Bay 31. They have to get to the 17 for a 1st down. 3 wide receivers in. Everybody out for Wenke. Looking. It's got a man. Right through the hands. Muhsin Muhammad had to go right through his hands. He dropped one last week in the end zone, and this one goes right through his hands. Oh, that's a bad one.
That's rare. That's very rare. Muhsin Muhammad is one of the top receivers in all the NFL. And he catches balls all over the place. That's a very rare miss.
And Wenke found them. He had enough for the 1st down. Right through his hands. And you know he's upset about that. Green Bay takes over in their best field position of the game, their own 31-yard line. Amon Green in motion. Favre with a short drop over the middle, complete to Antonio Freeman. Hit hard, but holds on to the ball. Deion Grant with the tackle. 2 interceptions thus far in the 1st half by the Panthers defense.
The one that was Doug Evans just stepped right in front of the ball where Amon Green was coming across the field. He read it perfectly. And the 2nd interception was a ball that was thrown downfield. There's some pressure from Michael Rucker in the face of Brett Favre.
That last pass was Brett Favre's 5,000th career pass in regular season. Amon Green gets up to about the 44-yard line. Sean Gilbert, number 94, making the stop.
I mentioned Rucker before on the last interception, but watch number 93 right here. He really helps close this down. It's a play that's inside, and he puts his hands, and see the extension in his arms that he used for separation on Clifton? That's what a defensive lineman has to do to an offensive lineman on run plays. You want separation from them so that you can get rid of them and get to the ball carrier.
On 2nd and 8, Rucker almost jumped. Off the play fake, Favre throwing, completes to Amon Green. In a Panther territory down to the 41-yard line, a 1st down. And Green continues to be an important part of the passing offense for Green Bay.
They use him a lot. They use him in the passing game a lot. You know, just like Marshall Faulk in St. Louis, just like Edgerrin James in Indianapolis. He can be that kind of back, and he's emerging as that kind of back.
He caught 73 passes last season. And Brett Favre says that if he didn't drop some, he could have caught close to 100. The carry inside for a couple of yards by Amon Green. Chris Jenkins cut him down. Excuse me, that was it William Henderson on the carry? Henderson in the backfield.
You know, that's
Amon Green.
One area that Carolina needed to improve on, and they've needed to improve on it for a long time, is in the run defense part. They have struggled playing run defense for the last 5 or 6 years.
Favre finds a man, Santonio Freeman, with a good catch at the 27-yard line. The Packers on the move as Favre has collected himself, and Freeman with a good grab and a 14-yard pickup.
You know, since the 2 interceptions, and since he went and sat on the sidelines and had the headsets on, was talking upstairs, the one thing that Brett Favre I've noticed is doing is he has some smoke on the ball. Now Brett always has the ability to throw hard, but he knows how tight the coverage has been from the Carolina Panthers, and he's putting a lot of heat on the ball.
Rondell Mealy carrying inside the 25. Picked up about 3 on the play. Packers with a good drive, which began at their own 31-yard line.
And you see how they converged on the ball there, that Carolina defense on the run. I mean, it might open for a second, but it closes. Now, in '96, you see they were 8th in NFL rankings. And that's the year they went to the NFC Championship game. But since then, look at the numbers where they finish against the run. That's the NFL rankings. They've been no higher than 23rd.
With bad turf underfoot, Favre drops back, sends everybody out, and throws to the corner. Overthrows Bill Schrader. Schrader had a step on the defender. Jimmy Hitchcock and Deion Grant double teaming. Schrader was there. The pass way overthrown.
Well, Schrader had some separation on Hitchcock. Watch right there. At that point right there. Brett's in that part of the field where now the sod held underneath him, but see how he always falls back away from the throw? Man,
avoids a hit.
I mean, just think about your normal throwing motion. Even if it's a baseball or a football, you always step into it and throw. Brett always falls backwards.
Have to get to the 16 for a first down. Everybody out. Favre with time, throwing, and it is incomplete. For Corey Bradford, Jimmy Hitchcock all over him. In fact, Bradford wanted an interference call, but no flag on the play.
Well, Bradford wanted the call because I think Jimmy Hitchcock had his arm around the backside of Bradford. Watch the heat that he throws on this ball. That thing comes out smoking. And that's a big-time play by Hitchcock.
The Packers will attempt a field goal here.
Sam, this part is watch his plant foot. See if that sod doesn't come tearing apart.
Doug Peterson, the holder, 42-yard attempt by Ryan Longwell. The line drive is right through. Good kick for Longwell. And the Packers are on the board. Longwell's field goal. Some rough turf there, but a good hold by Peterson. And the turf held up for Ryan Longwell. For 5 on field goals this season. Brett Favre was 3 for 5 on that drive for 40 yards. And Longwell is set to kick off. Panthers leading Green Bay 7-3. Steve Smith, who took the opening kickoff of the season, 93 yards in Minnesota for a touchdown.
Ball fell off the tee.
There's some wind swirling around down on the field. Back judge in, check it out. Good crowd here in Charlotte. Watch the Panthers home opener.
They'll let that ball fall off the tee once. If it falls off the tee again, then they have to bring a holder in. So one of the guys off the cover unit will have to come in and hold if it falls off again.
Longwell is set. and kicks it away. Smith from the 9. And he is taken down. Beautiful coverage on the play by K.D. Williams. He's made a couple of tackles on special teams. Backup linebacker got down in a hurry.
Sam, we were talking about Winky and the poise he has in the pocket and how he stands there and faces pressure. I mean, that's the beautiful thing about him. He stands in there and watch the precision of the passes, as we saw today, where he puts the ball away from the defender.
9 for 16, 76 yards today. 1 touchdown pass. The toss is to Richard Huntley, turns the corner and gets up across the 25-yard line. Winky came into the game completing 63.5% of his passes. Winky, a 4th-round pick. He waited till the 2nd day of the draft to be picked after winning the Heisman Trophy. And only the 3rd 4th-round or higher pick to start on opening day. And he won the job. They had signed Jeff Lewis to be the guy.
To a big contract. He's probably, no, not probably, I'm sure he is, the lowest paid starting quarterback in the league.
But he's got an incentive-laden contract. Stumbled a little bit on the rough turf, completes to Wesley Walls up across the 30. 4th catch of the game for Wesley Walls. He did not have a catch last week.
You know, and it helps when your offensive line is starting to come together and your running backs. Take a look at the blitz pickup right here. They're going to blitz to the weak side. There's only 3 guys, but watch them all get picked up. And that's, you don't think that's going to help out a young quarterback? Heck, when he knows that his guys around him know their responsibilities, know their assignments.
Having some trouble getting the play in. Winky just got it. Play clock down to 8 seconds.
Call timeout again.
Timeout. Yeah, they were having problems getting the play into him. Last week they had a couple of problems and he kind of ad-libbed and the guy said it worked out.
It was one of their
NFL next Sunday. It starts with the best pregame show there is with JB, Terry, Howie, and Chris. Then we've got Randy Moss and the Vikings going against the New Orleans Saints and their great defense. And then Tampa Bay Buccaneers host the Green Bay Packers. 3rd and 1. 3 tight ends in. And I don't think they made it. That's a great defensive play by the Packers. It went straight ahead with power up the middle. And the Packers doing a good job inside. Chris Hetherington, the fullback, carried for no gain.
Well, Bernardo Harris came flying in there, and the guy that was up front, Big Gil Brown, the gravedigger, he stuffed that whole thing up. Tough to get any kind of push against that big body.
Todd Sauerbrunn's 3rd punt of the game. Antonio Freeman is back deep for the Packers. A low kick, line drive. Freeman at the 26. Dropped the ball. There's a flag on the play. Freeman recovered his own fumble. 44-yard punt.
The guy that caused the fumble, watch this, number 40, Cooper. He beats Edwards and McBride right off the line of scrimmage. You have 2 guys responsible for 1. That should never happen. He gets an arm in there, jolts that ball out, but right off the line of scrimmage, Cooper beat Edwards and McBride.
Rookie out of Kansas State. Illegal block in the back against Green Bay will set them back to their own 14-yard line.
You know, we met with Mike Sherman last night, and he mentioned Cooper.
Gerard Cooper.
3 or 4 times as soon as we sat down to meet. Not many head coaches come in and start talking about a special teams player from the other team.
William Henderson, the fullback, straight ahead. Picks up about 3 on the play. Packers have had tough field position throughout the game. Started deep in their own territory 4 times. 5 possessions. They've had the field goal by Ryan Longwell on the last possession. 2 punts and 2 interceptions on Brett Favre. They go with 3 wide receivers. Radford, Schrader, and Freeman. With Amon Green and William Henderson in the backfield. Amon Green on the delay. Short pickup. And a good play leading the charge. Dean Wells, the backup middle linebacker.
Oh, Wells sniffed that out, Sam. He saw the split backs, and remember when they went split backs in the first quarter and they ran a draw out of it. And that's exactly what they got again. He waited and waited, shuffled, slid, and filled the hole.
Ball's up close to the 19-yard line. 3rd and 5 for Green Bay. Carolina defense being urged on by the fans here. Favre out of the shotgun, empty backfield. Favre has time and completes it. Bill Schrader up at the 39-yard line with his first reception of the game. Favre got plenty of time.
Well, you know, yeah, good protection, but they only rushed 3 down linemen, Sam. And when you have that far to go, the advantage is going to go to your receivers. You're rushing 3 against 5. You see the double here, double there, and you just can't get there. And when you let your receivers run around a zone defense, eventually they're going to get open.
21-yard pickup from the 39. Favre looking. Finally throws underneath to Amon Green, but there's a flag on the play. And there'll be illegal use of the hands against the Packers.
What happens is the offensive linemen sometimes get their hands, and when you're hitting inside on the chest plate of a defensive lineman, they slide up. They come right up into the face mask. Remember old Eric Williams down there in the Cowboys? They always used to complain
Illegal
about
use
him.
of the hands. Hands to the face. Offense number 62. 10-yard penalty. Remains first down.
Marco Rivera.
Right there. See that hand up in the face mask there?
Got it.
And that's a pretty good call by the umpire. Bob Wagner saw that from behind. And that's a pretty good awareness.
Ball's back to the 30-yard line. 1st and 20 for Green Bay. Favre working out of the shotgun. Drops it off from on Green. Rivera leads him around the corner. Green up to the 43-yard line. Mike Rucker chases him down.
In order for that little screenplay to work, Sam, everybody has to be timed up well. You have to let your pass rushers come in. The quarterback has to get the ball off as they see Gilbert's in his face. Now watch 58 right here, Flanagan. That springs the whole play. Timed perfectly. He has to hold, then get up to the linebackers, and he was the one that sprung that thing open.
Green with a nice grab. 3 catches, 39 yards from on Green at the 44. On 2nd and 6. Henderson and Mealy in the backfield now. Brett Favre. Clock had gone down to 0, right down to 0, and Brett Favre just called timeout. Amon Green shaking up on the play, going to the sideline. And the new sod, which is not taking hold. I wonder, Bill, can you play? Would you design plays to the outside of the hash marks because of that?
Yeah, and you know what? That very may well be why Carolina has been attacking the perimeter in the running game.
On 2nd down, Mealy and Henderson in the backfield. The play fake by Favre. Throws it out to William Henderson. It's up to midfield, very close to the 1st down marker. Maybe a foot short. Dan Morgan and Doug Evans combined on the stop. But Favre mixing it up again, using the fullback out of the backfield.
Well, he's got to throw the check down stuff, because in this defense that Carolina runs, it's very safe. They're going to protect the deep. They don't want to give up the big plays deep. They're going to give you everything underneath and then close on the football. So Brett has to be patient. He'll look at his reads and then always come back down to the check down.
They will measure on this. Very close to the 1st down. And it comes up about 3 inches short. A couple of chain links. That's all. Packers up near midfield, trailing 7-3. Mike Sherman. His team has won 6 in a row, a carryover from last season when they won their last 4 and finished 9-7. They won the first 2 this season, and all throughout the preseason, he kept harping on getting off to a good start of the season, and the Packers have done just that. Two tight ends, Henderson and Mealy in the backfield. Corey Bradford out wide to the right. On 3rd and inches, Henderson fighting his way for a first down. He didn't need much, didn't get much, didn't need much, but he got enough for a first down.
You know, he's a kind of an unsung hero. If you look at the Packers offense and what he does, he's the lead blocker on every play. And every now and then they give him a bone, as right here. Now watch the second effort, though. And he's a big-bodied guy. He can catch the ball well out of the backfield. Only saw the play before, the one that got him up that far.
Another Tar Heel.
Maybe one of the best blocking fullbacks in the league.
Everybody out, swing it out to Rondell Mealy. Mealy with a big gain, straight down the middle of the field across the 30-yard line. Good speed shown by Rondell Mealy, second-year man out of LSU. Getting a chance to play with Amon Green shaken up. We've reached the 2-minute warning. Green Bay driving, trailing Carolina 7-3. Loose the cobwebs, and he's back on the field. Green Bay a 1st and 10 at the Carolina 30-yard line.
Well, there's nothing worse than sitting on the bench, whether you're hurt or not, and watching the guy that's playing your position get a big gain like Rondell Mealy just got.
Two tight ends, two wide receivers, and Green the lone setback. Takes the toss, gives it back to Brett Favre, and he throws, and it's incomplete. Broken up nicely by Mike Minter. Intended for Antonio Freeman. Little razzle-dazzle on the play, but the Panthers had it covered.
Well, you know, that's that deep zone they play. That was a 4 across there, and they ran 2 crossing routes with Schrader and Corey Bradford. And watch these guys sit back here. They're going to be 4 across. They're going to let everything happen. See this right here? Underneath them. Here's the 2 crossing routes, and they just wait on it. And then that's the kind of defense they play. A lot of people say it's a soft zone, but they're going to let everything happen in front of them and not get sucked up.
Amon Green on 2nd and 10 gets a couple on the play. Sean Gilbert makes the stop. Green, 12th carry of the game. He's picked up 32 yards, so they've done a good job, has Carolina, of stopping the NFL's leading rusher, Amon Green.
See the pass distribution. Distribution. Tight ends don't have any balls thrown today, and that's an area they wanted to. Mike Sherman said, hey, I want to get my 2 tight end package involved more with pass receiving.
And the good receiving tight end, Dave Martin, is down. Dorsey Levin's down for today's game. 3 wide receivers in. Donald Driver's in. Amon Green is split out. The blitz on the empty backfield. Good play by Favre to fight off Morgan. The pass goes through the hands of Antonio Freeman. Dan Morgan with the blitz, and Favre just fought him off.
Remember when we were talking about Brett and some of the things that and we got to the last part of it and we talked about toughness? Watch him. The blitz, a rare blitz by Carolina, and the stiff arm to the rookie Morgan. You know, as a rookie, you sit back and you're watching pro football and you hear about Brett Favre and you see Brett Favre and you wonder just how tough he is. And then you got him on a blitz and he stiff arms you.
And Morgan limped off. He had to be helped off the field. Here's Longwell with a 46-yard try. And it's straight down the middle and through. Ryan Longwell, 2 for 2 today, 5 for 6 this season. And Green Bay gets another 3 and closes to within 1 point of the Carolina Panthers. Twice. He's not been able to put it in the end zone. 3 touchdown passes last Monday night. The Packers within 1. Longwell kicking off. There's the rookie Stephen Smith deep. The wind blew the ball off the tee once again.
You know, mentioning all those things that make Brett Favre what he is, and all those things contribute to his consecutive starts. That's all those things right there collectively is why he has more starts than any other quarterback in the history of the game.
And one other thing, he just loves to play. He loves to play the game. He wants to be on the field. Under a minute remaining in the first half. The Panthers with a 7-6 lead. Longwell, the line drive kick. Grabbed at the 6 by Stephen Smith. He's tripped up. Gets a good return. Gets across the 32-yard line. How much does Brett Favre love to play? Here's what he has to say.
With the tragedies we had here several weeks ago, we were off on Saturday and Sunday, and I didn't know what to do with myself. I really didn't. I mean, I knew it was a very tragic time in our country, and I knew why we were sitting out, but I sat there going, I sure would love to be playing football right now. And as long as I can keep telling myself that and believing it, then I'll show the enthusiasm that I've been showing this year.
And the joy for the game is as great as it's ever been for Brett Favre, and he is healthy this year. Stephen Smith, the rookie return man, hurt on the play.
The ball's in a hole. That's horrible.
Wenke on the toss to Goings. And the rookie is tripped up after he gets about 2 on the play. Vonnie Holliday makes the tackle. Coming up at halftime, it's the Visa Halftime Report. We send you back to the Fox Television Center where JB, Terry, Howie, and Chris are standing by. They've got scores, highlights, analysis, and the Fox Sports Ticker will keep you up to the second with statistics from around the league. Goings and Hetherington in the backfield for Carolina. Wenke with time, and the pass is incomplete. Intended receiver Muhsin Muhammad. 15 seconds remaining in the half.
You know, I think that's why, Sam, both these teams have been, the second quarter on, have been running the ball, and they've been running it outside. I think Carolina knew what this inside of this field, the inside stripes are between the hash marks was like. And every time they've ran the ball, they've tried to get the ball outside.
Wenke 10 for 18 thus far in the first half. Draw play to Goings. It's up to the 35-yard line. Bernardo Harris in on the tackle. Packers going without Nate Wayne, who has a strained patellar tendon, and Chris Gizzi started in his place. His first NFL start. Green Bay using a timeout here. 8 seconds remaining in the first half. Carolina with an outstanding defensive effort. 2 interceptions of Brett Favre. They scored the only touchdown. They had one called back because of a Todd Stussy holding penalty. Packers have managed only 2 field goals in the game. Sauerbrunn gets it away. Antonio Freeman fair catch. So the Packers have time for one last play here in the first half. 44-yard punt by Todd Sauerbrunn. Brett Favre, who became the 13th quarterback to throw 5,000 passes in NFL regular season play. Number 1 is Dan Marino with over 8,300. Brett is 10 for 19, 132 yards, and 2 interceptions in the first half.
You're going to take a knee here.
Looks like. And they do, and that's the end of the first half. So the Green Bay Packers offense has been stalled due to an outstanding defensive effort on the part of the Carolina Panthers. Panthers scoring the only touchdown of the game when Chris Wenke hit Wesley Walls, and Walls caught the ball between his legs. The halftime report is coming up next, so stay tuned for JB, Terry, Howie, and Chris.
A crisis at home.
He was shaken up on his last return when he was tripped up, but he is okay. There's Isaac Byrd. It's developing into a pretty good rivalry. 5th regular season meeting between these 2 teams. Each team has won twice. Panthers have won the last 2. Longwell's kick coming down to Smith. Took it on the run at the 12. Slips by one man. Fumble the ball. The Packers pick it up at the 38-yard line.
Well, they need a few turnovers to get back in the hunt of this thing, Sam. That's one thing Mike Sherman was talking about when we talked to him last night. He said, on the road, we have to be +2 in the turnover department. Well, going into halftime, they were -2, and to get back into this thing, they need to cause turnovers. I don't even know if they forced that one. That looks like Steve Smith just dropped the ball.
Antonio Freeman. Excuse me, Antoine Edwards, the man who recovered the fumble. And a big break for the Packers at the Carolina 38-yard line. Amon Green running hard straight ahead, gets down to the 33. Our Paul Butler caught up with Packers coach Mike Sherman.
Well, we're not going to blame the field because they're playing the same field we are. Panthers defense has done an outstanding job. We've had awful field position with our offense. We've had too many penalties to be effective, and you turn the ball over twice. We're fortunate that with the turnovers that we had, that the score is not worse than it is. I'm on second half, and we're going to try to take control of the football game. Okay, Amon Green banged up in the first half, really playing the second. I hope that.
Everybody out. Favre throwing, completes to Bill Schrader, cuts it back inside, gets down to the 25-yard line for a Green Bay first down. Rashard Anderson took him down. But a big chance here for the Packers. There's the second-year man, Rashard Anderson, out of Jackson State, first-round draft pick last year of the Panthers. Ball spotted at the 26-yard line. Green and Henderson in the backfield. Amon Green. Good tackle by Larry Chester. Chester, the big body, came over after playing 3 years at Indianapolis. First half numbers.
The big thing is the turnovers.
Exactly.
And also the field position, which Mike Sherman talked about. And that's not shown right there, but their average, oh, here it is right here. Their average start was on their 19-yard line. And that's tough to go the length of the field when you're backed up all the time.
Favre completing to the tight end Bubba Franks. Inside the 15 down to the 12, his first catch of the game. And Franks has improved as a receiver, Bill.
Well, that's what they talk about, and they're really excited about the tight end tandem they have in Green Bay. You saw it on Monday night. David Martin, number 83, who isn't playing tonight, has a slight AC sprain in his shoulder and is unable to play. Bobby Collins steps up, and the two tight end package, reminiscent of the time, 96, and they had Jackson and Chamorro.
And they have both tight ends in now. Collins is split out to the left side. First down for the Packers. Everybody out. Favre gets time deep into the end zone. Touchdown! Bill Schrader kept his feet in. Great catch. And the Packers take the lead. What a marvelous catch by Bill Schrader, able to keep his feet in bounds.
Good job, buddy.
And the Packers will go for two. What do you think of this play, Bill?
Well, that's what the chart calls.
Three wide receivers in. Rolling is Favre, looking and throwing and completing for 2 points to Antonio Freeman.
Up by 6. Go for 2.
Brett Favre, with his 261st career touchdown pass, is tied for 7th all-time with David Craig. Look at that grab and getting the feet in by Schrader.
Well, both these receivers did an outstanding job of keeping their feet in bound. But more importantly, the ball placement by Brett Favre on both those two passes. Only Brett Favre.
Brett Favre with another touchdown pass in his illustrious career. The man ahead of him now on the list is Joe Montana at 273. He's tied with David Craig at 261, 7th all time.
It was a heck of a decision by Mike Sherman, too, when you're up by 5 to go ahead and go for the 2. You know, if you go for 1, 7 beats you. If you go for 2, obviously you're going to push to a tie.
Steve Smith from the 15. Straight ahead again. Packers grab him. The ball came loose again. And the Packers have it. Back-to-back fumbles by Steve Smith, the rookie return man. And the Packers in the same place have it again at the Carolina 38. So the Panthers, K.D. Williams, who's been outstanding on special teams today with a couple of tackles, now makes the fumble recovery. Panthers' mistakes are becoming very costly.
Well, you can tell they got a talking to at halftime. Mike Sherman got into these guys, and I think that was 21 Baju, the rookie corner, 21, that got his hand in there and stripped that ball.
2 fumble recoveries for the Packers. Turnovers are even, 2 apiece, with Green Bay with a lead. Starting from the 38 of Carolina. Favre fires, and it's almost picked off by Deion Grant. He had a chance for a second of the day. That was there to be had.
Carolina could have used that just to slow down some of the momentum that Green Bay has come out of the tunnel with here in the second half.
3 wide receivers for the Packers. Schrader, Freeman, and Bradford. Henderson and Green in the backfield. Favre outside of Corey Bradford. Turns it upfield. Gets knocked down inside the 20 to the 17. Doug Evans was the man he turned around and beat on the play and finally brought him down.
You know, the one thing the Packers did at halftime in the adjustments that they made is they've come out in a bunch of personnel groupings. Different. Each play, they're coming out with different groupings.
Right now, they're coming out in 2 tight ends, Bobby Collins and Bubba Franks, as Mike Sherman looks on. His team leading for the first time of the game and looking for more.
2 tights, 2 backs, Antonio Freeman, 1 wide receiver.
Favre dropped it, picks it up, and then is covered by Mike Minter. Favre had an idea of trying to make something happen, then Minter was all over him.
You know, he looks like he just lost that ball as he was coming out, and the backs broke off in a play action this way, and as Brett turned into him, he just lost control of the ball. He didn't run into William Henderson. He just lost the ball.
And lost 9 yards on the play.
That must have been the same ball Steve Smith had.
Have to get to the 7-yard line for a first down. Everybody out. Favre throwing over the middle, and it's broken up. Nice play by Hannibal Navies.
Brett wants the call.
Good job by the linebacker for the Panthers.
Now he's matched up. He's waiting. He's got the back out of the backfield.
Ooh, he hooked him a little bit, didn't he, Bill?
But not enough to turn his body around. It was there initially, but he took it away. And when the flag will come out is when he stays on there and he turns his body.
Panthers bring 6 defensive backs onto the field. The Packers have to get to the 7-yard line for a first down. Favre, screen pass, Amon Green, led by Flanagan. Inside the 10 and down close to the first down marker.
I think you got it. And that's what you do against that soft, deep zone that Carolina runs. They only rush 3 linemen again. They drop everybody deep, trying to protect the big play, the goal line, and they threw it underneath and set up the screen with blockers in front of them.
They will measure on the spot here.
And that was an outstanding play call for that situation.
And it comes up about 1.5 feet short. So it's 4th down.
No Longwell. They've got the momentum. They came out. They've got the fumble recoveries. They scored on the last time they had a fumble recovery. They're feeling good about what they're doing. They say, heck, go for it.
4th and a little over a foot. Close to the 7-yard line. Crowd alive, urging on the Panthers defense. Packers have 2 tight ends in. And Favre calls timeout. Not sure if he had the right play, but he wants to go to the sideline to talk it over. Packers have the lead and trying to keep the drive going. Going for it on 4th and less than a yard. Your thoughts, Bill?
I think it's a gutsy call. And if he goes for it, I think it's a call that says how much confidence he has in the ability of his offense. The offensive line, Brett, Amon. Because you went for 2, and that was kind of a gamble to get you back where 7 pushes for a tie. On the road, I think the conservative thing would be to go take the easy 3.
Right. 3 tight ends in.
Take the easy 3 and make them score twice to beat you.
79, Barry Stokes is eligible. Tight right end. On 4th and a foot. Amon Green's got it. And he falls forward to the 1-yard line. Great job by the interior of the offensive line. And Amon Green gets the first down.
And nothing fancy about that. That's their signature play. The little zone play to this side, followed behind William Henderson, and Green looks to the backside. He looks for his hole, picks his spot, and takes it.
1st and goal from the 2. That's Steve Smith, a man who has fumbled on back-to-back returns. Once again, Barry Stokes, number 79, eligible as a tight end to the right. 1st and goal from the 2. Green gets down to the 1-yard line. The ball popped loose, but it's whistled down by contact at the 1-yard line inside the 1. Here's Amon Green. His knee was down. There's the ball coming loose. Amon Green, 16 carries, 46 yards. 2nd and goal inside the 1-yard line. Again, 3 tight ends in. Barry Stokes is eligible, number 79. Flags. False start, Green Bay.
62, Marco Rivera.
So that sets him back.
False start. Offense, number 62. 5-yard penalty. Remains 2nd down.
You get a little antsy down there sometimes. Marco Rivera just jumps the snap count.
Tough to hear down there too, Bill.
No, it shouldn't be. Brett's right beside him to the left. You just get antsy. You know he's got to get inside Chris Jenkins, who's a big man at 315 pounds. He just wanted to fire off.
2 tight ends and 1 wide receiver. Play fake, Favre, slip, heading foot, he throws, touchdown, Bubba Franks. Brett Favre rolling left, looked for a moment like he wanted to run, and then found the tight end Bubba Franks. And the Packers have cashed in 2 fumbles by Steve Smith to open up a 2-touchdown lead.
Well, I go back to the play where they gambled on 4th down here to go for it, and that's the confidence Mike Sherman has in his offensive line.
Longwell's extra point is good. The Packers, who trailed 7-0, now have scored 21 unanswered points. Bubba Franks has 2 touchdown receptions this season. He had 2 all of last year. And add another one to the record of Brett Favre. It's his 3rd touchdown reception of the season. He had 2 all of last season.
Well, it's a little bootleg, and when you run the bootleg to the near side, you trail the backside with your tight end, and Bubba Franks came open.
Isaac Byrd is now the return man after back-to-back fumbles by Steve Smith. Turned around the game. Short one. Richard Huntley takes it on the return and brings it back. Slipped a little bit, but gets up to the 37-yard line. And no fumble, and brings a cheer from the crowd. Key plays starting the 2nd half. Steve Smith, the return man, the rookie, fumbled. Brett Favre found Bill Schrader for a touchdown. Packers took the lead. Smith on the ensuing kickoff fumbled again. And Favre turned it into 7 points. 15 points off turnovers. Steve Smith sitting on the bench. The rookie who started so great in game 1 with a 93-yard touchdown return has had a rough day today in the home opener.
The first of Carolina offense has been on the field the second half.
That's right. 8:20 to go in the 3rd quarter. Now Chris Weinke will try to mount a comeback from the 37. Walls in motion. Weinke, pass blocked by Vonnie Holiday. Holiday's had a strong game for Green Bay.
He's really coming into his own as a player.
I agree with you.
You know, they were looking to find, when Reggie White left and retired, a strong side end, a left end, a guy that can play over the tight end, take on double teams. And Vonnie Holiday started out playing right end, which he's at right now on the strong side, but he's emerged into that power guy.
Weinke goes back, gets time, nobody open. Dumps it off in a short pickup across the 40-yard line to the rookie Nick Goings. Weinke wanted to go deep, but the Packers had it covered.
Well, there's a good example of the pocket poise that everybody talks about with Weinke. I mean, everything is collapsing around him, but he stays in there and he keeps his eyes looking downfield. He finally found his check down read and delivers the ball to him while all these bodies are flying around him. And I asked him about that. And he said, you know, he said, I don't mind taking a hit. He said, I know that the position I play, I'm going to get hit. I can't control that, but I'm going to keep my eyes looking downfield to make something happen.
On 3rd and 6, 3 wide receivers in. Weinke gets pressure, steps up and runs, and gets to the 45, short of the first down. Packers have tightened up defensively. Weinke couldn't find anybody open again, and got good pressure from Vonnie Holiday.
You know, last time these two teams played last year, I think it was November 23rd, 27th, around there. Moose and Muhammad had a field day on this.
11 catches.
A big day. And he's been kept relatively quiet today. Only 1 catch.
Had that big drop on a 4th down play. Or rather on a 3rd down play. 5th punt of the game for Todd Sauerbrunn. Good high kick. Antonio Freeman lets it go, and it bounces into the end zone for a touchback. 4.6 seconds hang time. 54-yard punt. But with a touchback, the Packers will get it at the 20 with a 21-7 lead. Back at Ericsson Stadium. From the 20, Favre on the play fake, throws it out to William Henderson. It's by one man. Hannibal Davies pushes him out of bounds at the 39. 19-yard pickup. Carolina's without their rookie linebacker Dan Morgan, who injured himself when Favre gave him the stiff arm in the 2nd quarter on this play. Suffered a left ankle injury. Dean Wells is in, along with Lester Towns and Hannibal Davies as the linebackers. Wells replacing Morgan. Brett Favre 17 of 28. 227 yards on the carry on 1st down. Brenson Buckner in on the stop on Amon Green. Well, Brett Favre has 7 touchdown passes already this season. He's now all alone 7th all time with 262 touchdown passes. He's really playing well, in spite of the 2 interceptions.
The second half was a big thing when they came out. They had the great field position. They made some adjustments in the offense, but took advantage of what Carolina was giving up.
Bubba Franks shifts to the right side as Favre checks off at the line. Throwing down the sideline, Schrader got tangled up with Doug Evans. And Mike Sherman wanted a call.
Schrader, the intended receiver. Doug Evans on the coverage.
Looks like they got their feet tangled up here. Let's see. He was holding him a little bit. Schrader wanted a call. Nothing happened.
Well, you know, if you just get your feet tangled up like that, they're not going to call a penalty on that. Now, did he have his hands on him? Yeah, they engaged, but that was right when they came off the ball. There was some engagement. Plus the fact that the ball was so well overthrown. If it's not at all catchable, they won't call it.
Out of the shotgun, empty backfield on 3rd and 9. They throw, and a good leaping catch by Bill Schrader for a 1st down at the Carolina 45. Schrader's 4th catch of the game, and he has made some beauties.
You know how you know Brett Favre is matured? Completely different guy. If you think back and you remember Brett Favre, if he threw 2 picks, he would come out and he would force everything, trying to make something happen big. And he hasn't. These 2 interceptions, they didn't affect him. Now he just comes out and just nonchalantly, casually just keeps playing.
A big 3rd down conversion for Green Bay. Amon Green picks up about 3 on the play. Always love to watch Favre after he hands the ball off with the fakes. I don't know who he's faking to, but it's fun to watch.
We were talking about it last night, and he was saying, hey, you ever watch that show on Fox that you got to see this? He said, I was watching it the other night, and they did this basketball thing called the barking dog, where this guy got down, and he started barking like a dog, and he said everybody on defense looked at him. They threw the ball inside. It was an easy layup. He says, you would be surprised. He said, all those goofy things I do after I hand the ball off, he said, there's always one defensive player sitting there looking at me.
2 tight ends to the right, 2 wides to the left. And the completion to Bobby Collins, the man he picked up in a trade this summer. David Bowens went to Buffalo, and Collins, a tight end, joining the Green Bay Packers. See the scores coming in. The Giants with a lead on New Orleans. St. Louis with a big lead on Miami. And New England shutting out Indianapolis.
Now that's an upset.
Wow. Kansas City laying it on Washington. Miserable year thus far for the Redskins. Panthers have 6 defensive backs in on 3rd and 4. Packers 3 wide receivers. Favre fakes, then throws for Freeman, and he dropped it. Took his eyes off the ball. It was there to be had. Deion Grant was covering him. But the Packers will send on the punting unit.
You know, you talk about that throwing motion. Watch Brett's arm. He falls backwards. He throws. Elbow comes out first, and then the ball slings from that.
Isaac Byrd is taken over as the punt return man as well. Steve Smith is in the Carolina doghouse. 3rd punt for Josh Bidwell. Trying to draw Carolina offside, and they'll take a delay of the game penalty.
And that's the area of the field where you want to do that, because right there at the 39-yard line or 38.5-yard line, that's tough on a punter, where you can hang it to try to get it inside the 10. So it's 4th and about 2.
Delay game. Offense. The penalty is declined. 4th down.
Yeah, and they're going to make it tough on the punter now. That's why they decline that penalty.
No.
Because if it backs him up, then he has more room to work the punt.
Bidwell being rushed, got it away. Good high kick. Byrd lets it drop. The Packers get there. Herbert Goodman, the backup running back, down the field, grabbed it and held on at the 1-yard line. 4.4 seconds hang time. Goodman gets down the field. He's got it sighted. And a good play with some help. The Green Bay Packers at Tampa Bay. Carolina with 2 tight ends in from their own 1. Nick Goings is hit as he just gets out of the end zone. He barely made it out. Vonnie Holiday leading the defensive charge.
Take a look at that field position, that graphic that was just up on the screen. That is a huge story. The first half, look at the difference. They exact opposite now.
Right. Hetherington coming out.
Carolina, 2:41 left in this quarter, and this is only the 5th offensive play for Carolina.
3 tight ends in. Goings gets about a yard on the play. Packers defense has got to be playing with some confidence now, Bill.
You know, anytime you're down there and you have the opposing team's offense backed up against the goal line, it's the only time as a defender you actually smell score. It's the only time. As a defender, you never think about scoring. You can smell scoring when you got them backed up right there.
There's 3rd and 9 for Carolina. Goings again, protecting the ball, gets up to the 5-yard line, but you hear the fan reaction.
Yeah, you know, they were trying that series to protect Winky. Just get the ball out a little bit and trying to find a way to protect him and not put it on him back in his end zone looking for a receiver to get open. But what they did do by doing that is put a burden on their punter. He doesn't even have enough depth, normal depth, to line up. That's Sauerbrunn.
He's right near the end line. 6th punt of the game for Todd Sauerbrunn. Antonio Freeman's around midfield. This is a good kick. Freeman backs up to 41-yard line. And is hit as he crosses midfield. So once again, Packers with excellent field position. 54-yard punt, about a 10-yard return. We have an injured Packer on the field. Antoine Edwards, backup safety, and a good special teams player, and he's in some pain. See the Central Division standings. Minnesota 0-2. Tampa Bay just 1-0. First game back, bye week, and then the week off. And Antoine Edwards is being helped to the locker room. Packers from the Carolina 49-yard line. Off the play fake, swing it out to Amon Green. Pushing forward, then he's shoved out of bounds at the 44-yard line. Picked up about 5 on the play. Rashard Anderson took him out. 5 catches in the game for Amon Green, who came into the game with 9. And Bill, he's to the Packers what Marshall Faulk is to the St. Louis Rams, wouldn't you say?
Exactly. And Edgerrin James is to the Colts. Yeah, he's a guy that can do it all. He can run hard inside. He can get to the perimeter, has the speed to break it anytime he gets it in his hands, and a good receiver.
3 wide receivers for Green Bay. Henderson and Green in the backfield. Favre deep down the right side for Schrader, and it's incomplete. Well covered on the play by Rashard Anderson.
Bill Schrader, the receiver.
Amon Green, who came to the Packers in a trade from Seattle, he says he knows every time he's out on the practice field and in a game, he's playing with a future Hall of Famer in Brett Favre, and he wants to play up to that level.
Well, that's when you're around a guy like that, when you're around greatness, you kind of compete to be that great. It raises everybody else's play up to a standard that normally they wouldn't reach.
Packers have 4 wide receivers, go with an empty backfield. Quick to Bubba Franks, a first down, and Franks keeps pushing forward, and finally is hit down hard by Hannibal Davies. But Bubba Franks refused to go down until that final big hit. But the pickup is another first down for Green Bay, and you can see how much Brett Favre appreciates the effort of Bubba Franks. The Packers with 15 points in the 3rd quarter have turned the game around. They lead it 21-7. We're here at Erickson Stadium in Charlotte, North Carolina, where the Green Bay Packers trying to go 3-0 for the first time since 1998, the last time they made the playoffs.
You know, it's amazing the turnaround in the game, what has transpired. Carolina came out, they controlled the field, they controlled the field position where they go, they controlled the turnovers, and that's a formula for winning. And in one quick moment after halftime, it went the other way, and now Green Bay took control.
Flags going down, each side blaming the other. Tony Correnti says false start
Offense
on Green
number
Bay.
76, 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
Carolina mistakes have hurt them in this game. They had a 7-0 lead. Right here, what looked to be a touchdown to Muhsin Muhammad was called back on a holding penalty on Todd Stussy, and then the fumbles to start the second half.
Yeah, and all those. I mean, this game could be over for Carolina. They could be on top and put the nail in the coffin, but because of those plays right there, Green Bay is taking control.
Favre checking off the line, hands to Amon Green. Gets inside the 30 to the 28. In the 3rd quarter, Green Bay had 22 offensive plays. Carolina had only 6.
Well, that makes it simple. You know, that's
yep.
And that shouldn't happen when you're at home. When you're a home team and you have a team down that's on the road, a team that had a short week like Green Bay had,
Henderson and Green in the backfield. 3 wide receivers for Green Bay. Screen pass to Amon Green. He's got a couple of blockers. Turning the corner, gets knocked out of bounds, close to the 15-yard line. It's another first down for the Pack. 6th catch of the game from Amon Green.
Just take a look at the turf getting kicked up here. Look at everywhere they go, dirt's flying up. That, you know what? That's horrible. And you know, the Players Association should do something about this. For those guys to have to go out and play in this kind of anybody can get injured. Yeah. That was the area of the field on the kickoff or the punt that they lost Antoine Edwards.
Favre to Schrader. Down at the 5-yard line. Deion Grant stopped the touchdown. Tampa Bay is on the move in Minnesota. JB, what's happening?
Well, although it's turf, better turf in Minneapolis, but take a look at Tampa Bay capitalizing on an 8-play, 75-yard drive with that 6-yard run by Warwick Dunn. Bucks on top 16-13, and Bill Moss, a crying shame on a football-only field. Back to Sam Rosen, Bill Moss.
That is bad. You know, with Robert Griffin after strong safety, they can't get that 8th man up there.
Yeah. And you know, when they didn't score the touchdown, Minnesota, on that long pass to Moss, they settled for a field goal. That's a big play. 1st and goal. Neely is stopped. Sean Gilbert, good penetration. Rode him down, lost a little on the play. Take a look at Brett Favre here.
He's got that toss, and he comes up and throws it. He says he always has something on. He says he has a bowling one, too. He does a bowling thing.
I want to see that one.
Maybe we'll get it here.
Brett Favre has had himself quite an afternoon with a couple of touchdowns. Moved into 7th place by himself all time. 4 wide receivers in for Green Bay. Favre 23 for 37 out of the shotgun. With plenty of time, he throws. Touchdown! Corey Bradford with a diving catch.
I'm sorry, Sam, but you can't give Brett Favre that much time. He just sat back there. Look, you have to come after Brett Favre. As soon as they saw 4 wide receivers in the huddle, you have got to defensively say, we've got to disrupt it. What kind of zone are you going to play when you're backed up against your goal line? Somebody's going to get open.
So mistakes on the defensive side, and Favre picking them apart now with 24 completions, 3 touchdown passes. Longwell's extra point is good. And the Packers have put 22 points on the board in the 2nd half. It looked like a totally different team. The offense clicking. Favre to Bradford for the touchdown. In Carolina, Corey Bradford with a touchdown grab. 3rd touchdown pass thrown by Brett Favre in the game, who's completed passes to 8 different receivers.
And that's, you know what? Most of that came in the 2nd half, Sam. That's when they really started spreading them out a little bit more. They made some adjustments to see what Carolina was giving them defensively, and they spread them out more.
Ryan Longwell will kick off. Isaac Byrd is deep for the Panthers. We're in a deep hole now after having the early lead. Longwell's kick comes down to the 5-yard line. Byrd with 4 blockers in front of him, bounces outside, slipped on that awful turf, on the awful grass. He slipped as he tried to cut it upfield.
Here's Bradford here, and watch Bubba Franks here. These 2 guys are wide open. This is why you have got to apply some kind of pressure. Bubba Franks is doing a jig literally in the end zone. Somebody's going to get open if you sit back there and let people run free and don't get any pressure on the quarterback.
Think Brett's having a good time?
He's having a blast.
He is now. Panthers go with 3 wide receivers. Isaac Byrd has joined Donald Hayes and Muhsin Muhammad. They start from their own 24. That's Byrd in motion. Hetherington, the lone setback. Wenke being pressured, drops it off. Nice catch, Donald Hayes. Hayes ridden down. by Mike McKenzie. Donald Hayes, who injured his ankle in practice on Thursday, did not practice Friday, was a question mark for today's game, but tested out the ankle before the game and ready to go.
Now this is going to become interesting to watch Chris Winkie work, because the Packers have 12 sacks. They came into the game with 12 sacks. Now they haven't had any this game, but they are ahead now and force the Panthers to become pretty much one-dimensional. It's going to be interesting to see the things that happen. And there he is lined. You see Winkie? He lined up over the guard. The defensive linebacker had to tell him to move to the center.
Winkie throwing, completing for no gain on the play. Completion to Isaac Bird. Mike McKenzie covering on the play.
Sam, take a look at this. Winkie is lined up over the guard. Nesbitt, now watch. The linebacker tells him, hey, get over here. Look, he's looking. He's there, huh?
And Jeff Mitchell says, over here, guy. Over here. All right. Hey, you can be flustered when you're looking at the Green Bay defense.
You know, and that's a big part of it, too.
The one thing I will say, the Packers, who came into the game with 12 sacks, have not had a sack on Winkie. So the offensive line for Carolina has done a job protecting him. Winkie throws. It's batted down, almost intercepted by Todd McBride. Threw into double coverage, and McBride, third-year man out of UCLA, almost picked it.
Wesley Walls is in motion right here. Here's McBride. Now watch him. See where the ball was thrown.
Winkie 13 for 23, just 91 yards. See the numbers, first half, second half. It's 3rd and 11. Winkie getting time, throwing it deep, and it's complete to Donald Hayes. Chris Akins finally rides him down at the 45-yard line. That was a good ball, 23-yard pickup. Nice throw by Winkie.
Again, he had some time. Sam, you just mentioned that the offensive line was giving the Packers defense some problems. They're not allowing him to get there, and Winkie had some time for Hayes to get open.
Chris Terry with a good block on the right side. First down at the Packers 44. With 3 wide receivers in, Winkie throws and completes to Muhsin Muhammad. Stayed on his feet. McKenzie got a piece of him, but Muhammad did a good job to stay on his feet and get some extra yardage. Second catch of the game for Muhsin Muhammad, who dropped one in the first half. That was a big drop.
You know, you're right. It was a big drop, and you could throw that in with Stuzzi's holding call and Steve Smith's 2 fumbles, because that was a 3rd down play, and that if he had caught that, which he was wide open, it would have put them inside the red zone with a 1st down.
On 2nd and short from the 35, Winkie gets time. Incomplete. Flag on the play down around the line of scrimmage. And it's going to be against Carolina.
Illegal block. They're going to get the center.
Mitchell.
Yeah, they're going to get him on the illegal chop block. And that's going to back him up 15, because that's a personal foul.
Personal foul, chop block. Offense number 63, 15-yard penalty. Repeat, 2nd down.
They call it on Jamar Nesbitt. You can't believe it. Let's see.
There's Nesbitt right here. I thought it was right here, 60.
Oh yeah, they got the wrong man.
And that's why that look was on Nesbitt's face. He said, what do you mean, me?
Mitchell, who played for the Super Bowl champion Baltimore Ravens and got his ring over the summer, called for the, actually he's the man guilty of the chop block. Winkie being chased, and down he goes. First sack, and it's the NFL's leading sack man, Kabir Bajabiamila, who's got great speed and has really developed into an excellent pass rusher. His 5th sack of the season.
You know, he plays that position that Charles Haley made famous, called the elephant end. And he rotates in there with John Theory. But when they get into pass rush situations, he goes to the right side. And he's a guy that isn't very big, but he's tall, 6'4", about 250, 55 pounds. And really has developed into a good outside rusher right now.
They have to get to the 33 of Green Bay for a first down, short to Hetherington. And a good job by the fullback to get to the Packers 42-yard line.
Heck, I say go.
Running out of time, and they are going for it.
You know, you're talking about Biamia and Sam, when you become noticed or known in the NFL, when you jump out in the lead in the first couple weeks as a sack leader, everybody takes notice. And it may be easy to get 3 sacks in one game. You could fall into 3 sacks in one game. And now he's going to have the job of continually doing that on a regular basis.
They go empty backfield. Now Hetherington shifts back on 4th and 10. Blitz coming. They pick it up, and it's intercepted. Tyrone Williams racing down the sideline. Hetherington knocks him out. And the Packers with force another turnover. That was a bad throw by Winky.
That's all it was. No pressure. He had time in the pocket. Just threw a bad ball.
And the Packers have taken a lead in the turnover department. They've forced 3 turnovers in the second half. Put in a couple of weeks ago is not taken. Packers, the shovel pass. Rondell Mealy cutting it back inside and gets inside the 30 to the 27.
That was a broken play, Sam. That was a broken play.
But with Brett, you never know.
Well, he makes something out of nothing.
Look, not there. Somebody ran the wrong way, so let's go to Rondell Mealy.
One, two, three, four, five,
Over
six,
300 yards passing. That's a pass to Mealy. And here's Mealy carrying and fights through a tackle and gets inside the 25 down to the 22.
You know, and this right here, that play right there, that's different than what Green Bay has had before. It's the 4th quarter. They have a lead, and they can now, or they now have the ability to lean on the offensive line. Say, go ahead, guys. The game is in your hands. And for offensive linemen, there's nothing better. Offensive linemen want to run block. They don't want to pass block. That's too much fancy footwork and technique. They want to get their big bodies on something and just maul.
Charles Lee, number 82, in at wide receiver. Rondell Mealy following Henderson. It's down to the 20-yard line. Bring up the 3rd and 2. And the defense of the Packers has had a chance to rest here in the second half.
Look at the season average time on the field. 24.50 a game. Today it's even lower. And when I went up to Green Bay the first year of free agency and Brett Favre was there, first thing he told me, he said, you're going to love playing here because the defense is on the sideline so much. You get well rested. He says our offense dinks and dunks. We chew up some yards and we drive the field.
And number 29, Herbert Goodman, out of Graceland, getting a chance to play. He's in as a running back, and here's his first NFL carry. No gain on the play. It'll bring up 4th down for Green Bay. Dean Wells in on the stop for Carolina. Clock running with 5.5 minutes to go, and the Packers leading 28-7.
kicking ball.
Field goal unit coming out. Ryan Longwell, 2 for 2 in the game. 42-yarder and a 46-yarder. The only points Green Bay had in the first half. Brett Favre with 3 touchdown passes here in the second half. This attempt.
Watch his footing right in there. That's a bad part of the field.
37-yarder. Out of Peterson's hold. He had trouble with it. He slipped, and the kick was low.
That's that field.
Trouble with a snap and hold, and then slipping on the field. No footing. Field goal attempt is no good. Watch this. Bad field. Snap high. And slipping on the plant.
Okay.
He's a lonely man right about now.
Well, he most certainly is. There's nobody around him at all. 2 fumbles that turned into 2 touchdowns. It changed the whole outcome of this game.
Chris Winky, 16 for 27. 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Mohammed holds on after bobbling the ball. Gets up to the 39-yard line for a first down. Mike McKenzie covering on the play. Muhammad's third catch of the game. Well, these are the quarterbacks that Green Bay has faced. Charlie Batch was sent to the bench after week 1. Jeff George was released by Washington after week 2. Now Wenke's here for the long run, but they've done a good job controlling him.
Credit him for the only one having a touchdown against this defense.
First down, Carolina. Everybody out. Wenke looking. Somebody grabbing his ankle. The pass is incomplete. And there's a flag on the play. Back in the Carolina backfield. They held Kabir Bajabiamila on his pass rush. And it'll go against Carolina.
I think it's Stuzy again.
Holding. Offense, number 75. 10-yard penalty remains. First down.
You're right about that. Panthers will be in San Francisco next week. 2 weeks from today, they're home against New Orleans, and that's what they have. That's the time they'll have to get this field into better playing shape than it was today.
They need a Zamboni.
Maybe some artificial turf. Wenke. Hayes dropped it. Donald Hayes on the crossing route. Had it and dropped it.
You know, the one thing about today that is a positive is Chris Wenke saw a good defense. He saw a different kind of defense than he saw the last 2 weeks. He saw a defense that blitzes, comes after you, disguises coverages, rolls their safeties inverted up and down. You know, that's a good learning step for him, if there is a positive in the whole thing of this.
From their own 29 on second down. Wenke throwing on every down. They've got him. Second sack of the game. This one belongs to John Theory. 14 sacks this season for the Packers, and 13.5 have come from the linemen.
And that is big because two things. First of all, they haven't had that kind of pass rush or defensive line play since I think Reggie White left. They've been trying. They've been trying to plug those holes and put a defensive line together. But this is really the best it's been since Reggie has left. And Reggie was such a presence on the field and always had to be accounted for. But now they get that from a variety of different people and a variety of different looks.
Have to get to the 49 for first down. Short to Hetherington. And he is knocked down at the 31-yard line. Darren Sharper, number 42, with help from Niall Diggs. And the Packers defense does the job again. They've given up a total of 13 points in 3 games this season.
And that's outstanding. And a lot of it has to do with the fact that they are fresh. They're not on the field that much. Ed Donatel, the defensive coordinator, look, you know you're doing pretty good when it's 3 minutes left in the game and you're drinking Gatorade. that's a pretty good sign of how things are going.
Sauerbrunn, good long kick. Backpedaling, Charles Lee trying to get outside, and good tackle by Gerard Cooper. Cooper, the rookie, he's still going hard. 55-yard punt. Cooper with outstanding coverage.
Boy, I'll tell you, the way this guy plays the game is amazing.
Look at this, though. He won't stay down.
No, he doesn't. He makes the play.
Somebody's still hustling for Carolina. The rookie out of Kansas State, Gerard Cooper. But a great start to their season. Doug Peterson is in. Brett Favre rests. And Rondell Mealy carries up across the 20-yard line. Brett Favre, 25 for 39. 309 yards passing. 3 touchdowns. The 2 interceptions in the first half, but he bounced back strong. He now has 8 touchdown passes on the season.
Well, they have backup everybody in there except for that O-line. And that's what they're going to lean on right now.
Doug Peterson in his second stint with Green Bay, the number 2 quarterback. Rondell Mealy again. He gets across the 20 and up to the 24-yard line. We have reached the 2-minute warning. Chris Gizzi was in at fullback on that play.
I was looking, I saw Henderson come out and Gizzi comes in. He started the whole game at linebacker. Now he's getting a little bit of fullback action. Here's Gizzi.
He's a military guy. Just tell him what he has to do, and he'll get it done.
He was hiding behind Marco Rivera. Pretty smart.
On the list, all-time touchdown leaders, 263. He's 7th, 10 behind Joe Montana. On third down, Rondell Mealy up to the 25, short of the first down. And a great job by the Packers defense. What a start this has been. 13 points in 3 games, the fewest after 3 games since 1962, and the Packers won the NFL championship in '62.
Well, they've played extremely well. There's no question about that. And they're off to a 3-0 start, which you can't buy any more confidence in that. Teams that jump out early in the league with the 3-0 starts, 4-0 starts, I mean, that's you can't replace that. Although they haven't played anybody offensively yet. Detroit, Washington, Carolina, still they got the 3, and that's all that matters.
That's Bidwell kicking it away. Isaac Bird on the return, and a good one across midfield and into Packer territory. Don't forget tonight, 7 Eastern, 6 Central here on Fox. Jerry Maguire, Tom Cruise, Renee Zellweger, and Oscar winner Cuba Gooding Jr. star in Jerry Maguire. Bill,
show me the money.
That's the line. 44-yard punt, 24-yard return. Packers last year started 0-2. Were 5-7 after losing to Carolina, and then went on a 4-game winning streak. This will be their 7th win in a row. Damian Craig is in the game at quarterback for Carolina with a little over a minute to go, and the Packers called timeout. They didn't have enough players on the field.
Yeah, well, Jizzy wasn't out on the field.
Well, he was busy playing fullback.
He's a fullback now, so they only had 10 defenders on the field, and they had to call a timeout. Bernardo Harris was counting the guys in the huddle. He said, wait a second, we're short one.
Among Damian Craig juggled the ball, and the lateral out to Richard Huntley, and never got going. A loss of about 3 on the play. Under a minute to go. Panthers will go 1-2, and that's Steve Smith being consoled on the sideline.
Scott O'Brien, the special teams coach, and you know what he's telling them? He's telling them in essence, look, you can't get your dauber down. I mean, you're a playmaker type guy. You won the first game for us because of your touchdown return. It's helped set us up. He said, you know, you're trying to make some things happen, and that's part of the game, and that's part of the rookie growing pains you're going to go through. But I can't have you next week with your dauber down.
Damian Craig has trouble with a turf, and that's the sack. Kabir Bajabiamila grabbed him by the jersey and brought him down. It is a sack. We've got more football coming your way. We're going to pick up the end of the Tampa Bay, Minnesota game before we get the Auto Trader post-game show with JB, Terry, Howie, and Chris with all the scores and highlights from around the league. 3rd sack of the game for the Packers. That gives them 15 on the season. And again, the linemen doing it. And Green Bay is 3-0. Brett Favre passes for over 300 yards. And the Packers win it 28-7. For Bill Moss, this is Sam Rosen. Now to Minnesota. And Pat Summerall and John Madden.